Susan, and I am delighted you're here to spend some time with me with our Play and Learn series. I am really excited about what we're talking about today because we're going to talk about colors of the world and the colors of the world and the things that we share in common with everybody all over the planet. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. It's a beautiful story that we're going to read, and it has beautiful information about different countries, and we'll talk a little bit about how we all interrelate and what that means to all of us, you know, for today's time. All right? So let's get started on the story, and we'll see what exciting adventures we can learn from this book. But this book is called One World, Many Colors, and it is by Ben Lewill and Arlete, but I can't even pronounce her last name. It's very long. Stragerhoff, I'm not sure. But anyway, I apologize for not doing the name right. But anyway, it's all about the colors. So let's take a look. We share one world. We share many colors. And white shines and sparkles. It's in the desert of Oman, an Arabian Onyx is it's an ox, is moving through the sand dunes, and animals have strong legs and long, sharp horns. It's in icy Antarctica, at the bottom of the world. Penguins are swimming and seals are resting on the shore. The frozen lands and furls out forevermore. So even though this is a desert and the other one is the Antarctic where it's freezing cold, how close the colors come in so many ways. If you look at the fish, and then you look at the penguins, and then you look on the other part on the desert, the colors are very similar, even in the whites, because the sand sparkles white in the desert. It's in sunny Australia also. The Sydney Opera House is moon bright in the morning light. Ferries are crossing the harbor and clouds are floating in the sky. But look at the white, the brilliant white that's there from the water flowing, and how the caps of the water are really white. You can see the white there too. Pink blossoms and brightens. It's in the blossom of Japan. In springtime, the cherry trees grow thousands of little flowers. The petals are light and soft. It's in sweet-smelling Paris bakery. Look, pink macaroons and trays full of cakes and pastries. Which treat would you choose? So if you look at the colors in the pinks, that it's so pretty and shows up there too in Paris. It's on a wide lake in Kenya. The flamingos are balancing on long legs. Some are dipping their beaks in the water. The birds live under a big African skies. Look at those pink colors. See what other colors there are. Yellow glows and gleams. It's in a soccer stadium in Brazil. Look at all those people enjoying the game. It's on the streets of New York City. The taxi cabs are honking their horns. People are hurrying this way and that under buildings that stretch high up into the sky. There are very tall buildings. Look how tiny the people look. It's in the sunflower fields of Spain. The flowers are swaying in the breeze. There are too many to count. The only sound is the whisper of the wind. Isn't that beautiful? Can you imagine looking at that through your window and seeing that outside? Makes you want to run through them, doesn't it? Blue shimmers and soars. It's in the deep ocean. The blue whale is the giant of the seas and biggest animal on planet Earth. Its enormous tail moves slowly and steadily as it swims. Look at the size of the whale and the size of the divers. that are following the whale. It's in the sky above Mount Everest, the mountain so high that it can take 2 whole months for climbers to reach the very top. You have to have real strong lungs to march up that one, I think. It's in the Canadian woods in winter. It's a blue jay. All the trees are covered with glistening snow. The bird's bright feathers help to keep it warm. Look how pretty that is. That's a pretty blue jay. Green glistens and grows. It is the wilds of South Africa. A chalamon is shrinking along on a branch. You see it there? It almost matches the leaves. It's green now, but it has a secret. It can change colors to match its background so that you can't see it. That's its safety net, I guess we would call it. It's in the countryside of Vietnam. The farmers in the rice fields are wearing wide hats to shelter from the sun. The field is very green, so the rice is nearly done. It's in the Amazon rainforest. The tangled green jungle is swarming with life. Monkeys and toucans and jaguars and parrots, butterflies and snakes. How many animals can you see? You see the little tiny pink frog on the leaf? And over on this other side, there it looks like a little bug, a blue and white striped bug. And there's monkeys and where's the toucans? Oh, there they are. They're in the trees. And there's snakes and butterflies. There's just a ton of animals that live in the rainforest. Red dances in dreams. It's in Hong Kong at Chinese New Year. Lanterns are hanging in rows and fireworks are bursting in the night sky. The lanterns give off a rosy glow. It's in London at rush hour. A double-decker bus is driving across Westminster Bridge. Drifting everywhere are the noises of the city. Look at the colors, how they stand out. It's in Egypt at sunset. The pyramids are old, mighty, and silent. As the day ends, the sun's last rays wash the ancient stones in red light. There's the camels and the people that live in Egypt. And I believe those are banana trees, but I'm not positive. I think that's what those are, the palm trees, banana palms. I think that's what those are. I'm not sure. Could be dates too, but I'm not positive. We share one world. We share many colors. As you see the ribbon that they're holding as it goes all the way around. And you see all the colors. So just imagine whatever colors we happen to see where we are, the same colors someone else is looking at across the other side of the world. Can you imagine that, how far that is? Let's take a little look at kind of our world laid out flat. I know you've probably seen these maps and things at school. But on our journey around the world has taken us from busy cities to wild jungles, showing us some of the special colors that we share. Can you spot all the different things we've seen? White, an Arabian, or I think it's an oryx. It's like a goat, I suppose. In the desert, the frozen ice of Antarctica, the Sydney Opera House in Australia. You can see all the different things up on the map. There's Australia over on my far right. And pink, cherry blossoms in Japan, macaroons in the Paris bakery, a flamingo in Kenya. And then yellow, a football shirt in Brazil, a taxi cab in New York City, a sunflower in Spain. Blue, a blue whale in the ocean, the sky above Mount Everest, and a blue jay in the Canadian forest. So if you look at the ocean liner and you see where Australia is, it's just amazing to know that there's that much in the world that we get to experience. And then there's green, a chalamon in South Africa, rice fields in Vietnam, the amazing rainforest. And then we have blue, or we did blues over there on that side. There's the blue whale. a temple in Hong Kong, a London bus, the pyramids of Egypt. There's all those amazing things that the world has to offer us. And all those colors, that's the amazing part. So just what you see when you get up in the morning, you look outside your window. You know somebody else is looking outside their window and seeing the same colors that you are. That's the most amazing part of it. And that we can simply look at a book and learn and see all of that is that we share. Even though we don't happen to see them day by day or moment by moment, what we do experience is we experience the end of that story. Very cool. Look at all those colors. Those are bright and amazing. So put this down. What we happen to see and what we happen to know is that the world is such a huge place, yet we all share the same sky, we all share the same water, we all share the same time, the same amount of time. We all have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and 52 weeks in a year. We all share that. It's not any different here than it is in Japan and China, Vietnam, any of those places. We all share those same things, and we don't really think about that. And it's amazing how that ties us all together, that we do share that. And we can all share those same desires that everybody else has all over the world, to have food and water and family and friends and things to go see and things to do. We have all of that we share together. And we also share the things that are important to us, our families, our countries we live in, the blue skies, the clear water, all of that we share together. And we take care of it together too. It's really important to do that we all take care of the area that we live in, because it does affect, people way across the world in another country. It affects them too, which is amazing, because sometimes we don't even think about that. And that because we live here and we're all breathing the same air, that we all want to be responsible for that, to make sure that it's there for many, many people to come. My grandchildren, and when you eventually grow up and get married and have your children and they have children, and it goes on and on and on like that. Because I'm sure you have pictures of your great-grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers and things like that. I learned that my great, 4 times great grandmother was a French Indian, which I did not know in my family. And she was from Canada, and came down to the United States over in the East Coast in Ohio. And she was my great-great-great-grandmother, which just amazes me. And, to think back that everybody is tied together. And those ties sometimes are very thin. We don't really see them or know them, but they're still there, which keeps us all connected in one. So I thought what it might be fun to do today is to kind of get a visual of what that looks like. So I have a spiral that I cut out, and I thought we would do some colors and also put some little signs on them so you could get an actual picture of what that happens to look like. So the first part of the book that it talked about white. Well, we think white is a no color, non-color. And and that says white shines and sparkles. And we saw the white. I'm going to take double stick tape to put this stuff down. We saw the white in Australia and Mount Everest, and we saw it in Mount Everest and Australia. That's the other one I was thinking of. And Mount Everest is one of those super, super high mountains. So we're going to put the white sparkles there. We're going to put Mount Everest over here. This is kind of our spiral that represents the white. Because we all look at the white clouds, right? We see the white clouds outside. What we see, other people see that too. We share the same sun and the same moon and all of that. And sometimes that seems utterly amazing that we do that. So we're going to put this one over here. We're not going to color this one because it's already white, so we don't have to do that. Then the next color that we saw, that we talked about, is pink. And the pink blossoms of Japan, and we have pink right here. So we're going to take our pink marker, and I'm going to just kind of go, I'm not going to fill it all in because that will take us a while. So I'm just going to lightly fill in this part. So we think about Japan and Kenya and the beautiful flamingos. They're so pretty. And I know we see them in the zoos around here, you know, that you can see them at the zoos. You'll see them there. But they're so pretty. And I think, if I've got my facts right, I don't know if I do or not, you can check on that and let me know if I am right or wrong. But I believe that they're pink because they eat shrimp. I don't know. And the shrimp is pink. So the color kind of goes, and I'm blocking the camera, sorry. Kind of goes, you know, it helps their color from the food that they eat. Okay, so there we go. There's the pink. That's just represents things in Paris and Japan, and there's probably lots of other pinks elsewhere too that we don't have written down at this particular moment. So we have that. So we have the blossoms in Japan. So we'll stick that one here. There's the blossoms in Japan and Kenya and Paris. And we'll do the pink. We'll do this one first. So here's the pink, that one. And this is Kenya, where we saw the flamingos, and that's in Africa, where we saw them. And then the blossoms in Japan. So we'll put this one over here. There's our pink. And then we went to yellow, which we talked about. The yellow is in, let me find a little piece of paper that shows my yellows. That's blue. Here's the yellows. We had the sunflowers of Spain. Oh, and I don't want to do that yet. We want to do the yellow, right? So we're going to fill this in and go around it. It just kind of, this idea I had just kind of shows us how we're so connected to one another. As I said, when we talked about, you know, we share the same sun and the same moons, and we can see all the planets and all of that from no matter where we are, whether we're standing in Japan or we're standing in the United States or Australia or any of those places. Okay, this is our yellow, and this one goes on this side. So there's the yellow, and this is for Brazil. They love to play soccer in Brazil. That's one of their country's sports. So we have the yellow gleams in Australia and Spain, not Australia, Brazil, I'm sorry. Let me get the right countries there. So there's the yellow gleams, okay? And we have the sunflowers in Spain, which are so pretty. I guess they were sunflowers. They're the orange and the yellows, you know, they're on that field. And it makes you want to run out to that field and run through the flowers. Can imagine what their fragrances are and how pretty that might be. Okay, so we're going to put this here on the yellow. That one. And we also had soccer in Brazil. That's one of their sports that they play. We play that here too. I imagine some of you guys play soccer. But that's I guess it's their national sport. Okay, so here's that. And then we have the streets of New York, all the yellow taxi cabs. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of those, or maybe something like that on the news, but there are many, many, many taxi cabs. Sometimes you could look out a window and that's all you see is yellow taxi cabs. Okay, so we'll put them here. And the tall, tall buildings in New York City. All right, so that takes care of that. Then we moved to the oceans. And also, so let's see, where's the blue? Right here. Blue shimmers and soars. So that's this one. So we're going to go to the blue first before we stick the pictures on there. So we're just going to go around really fast and cover the blue. I guess this is what you call quick scribbling. Quick scribbling. So we'll go through here with the blue. And the many places that you see the blue, you know, the oceans. And, you know, unless you live by the ocean, you really can't see it. And some other people have the same experience, that they don't live, you know, by the ocean, but they certainly get to see it when they go out to the beaches and stuff. Okay, so we're going to go around this way. I don't want to stand in front of the camera. And this is the blue. So there's our blue. Okay, there's the blue, the ocean. And okay, so there's our blue shimmers and soars. And I guess the blue whale is the biggest sea animal that there is. We got to see the size of that, by the way, the deep sea divers were looking at that. And then we go to Canada, which is above the United States, is we see the bluebirds. No, bluebirds are prevalent in the United States too, and they're so pretty. Okay, and that's going to go here. All right. So now the next place that we get to, we move to the green, and this says green glistens and glows. And we see this in the rainforest. We saw that. We see it in the rainforest, and we see it in the South Africa, in the wilds of South Africa. Do you remember the animals, the kind of animals that we saw in the rainforest? See if I can remember. I think there was some jaguars, and there was some toucans, I guess is how you say it. There were toucans. There were other parrots, I imagine. And there was monkeys. And can you remember any of the others? But there's a whole lot. And of course, we get the privilege, which is really nice, that we can go to an aquarium. I don't think we can see the blue whale, but we get to see the different wildlife and stuff that is in other countries that we may not ever journey to. And we're able to see them, you know, in our zoos, which is really nice. So the green that we talked about is the plants and the animals in South Africa, wild South Africa. What else was in Africa that we looked at just a little while ago? We saw the flamingos. They were in Kenya, which is in Africa. Okay, so here's our green. Goes here, that's South Africa. And the rainforest, which we talked about just a few minutes ago. But can you imagine being able to go and see all of those things in person? That would be an amazing experience to be able to go and do that. And maybe sometime you guys will actually be able to go and see that, which would be absolutely wonderful. Okay, so there's that. Then we come to red. Now red we saw as like in the sunset. And that is right here. Red dances and dreams. Did you know what color dreams? Well, they create dreams. If you actually got to go see them, they would create the dream. So here's the red. I'm going to go around one more time here, just to kind of get a full picture of what all those colors are. And of course, you know, this is just a few of the colors. You start mixing things, and there's oranges and all kinds of shades of greens, and like my shirt. My shirt's kind of an olive green. But you get to see all of that. Just how many colors that we actually see in our world. There's so many. And if you like to paint or draw, you use a lot of that. So we're going to go right up to there. And we're going to put the reds on. And that one of them was Egypt. And it was a picture of the pyramids. And what it turns them kind of red, a reddish color, in the evening, you know, when the sun sets. So, but it dances and it dreams. So there's our red. So we'll put that here. There's red. And we have the Egypt. Now, when we think about these things, and we think about the fact that we share this with so many people, and oh, here's China, and China was also red. That was with the fireworks that they have. So we saw that with China. That's Hong Kong in China. And also London, England, with their buses. They have some cool buses. And that would be a fun trip, to be able to ride through London on their buses, wouldn't it? But there's so many things that we all have in common, that we all share, even though we may not speak the same language, we don't necessarily look the same. Our skin colors are probably different. Well, we know they're different. And this way. And the ways in which that's different. And our languages aren't different. We don't necessarily, you know, if you go to Australia, or you go to China, or even London, their language is still English, but it's a different speaking kind of English. Spain, they speak Spanish, and you know, the languages are just so different. So in the very center, we're going to put our sign that says, which is the most important thing to remember, we share one world and we share many colors. And many colors doesn't make us different. It makes us, we get to look different, we talk different, we have different cultures and different ways of doing things, but we're all still human beings. We're all still made out of the same stuff, and we're all the same in those ways. What makes us stand out in different ways is the culture in which we live. So here we go. This kind of shows you, and it's really long, so I'm going to kind of hold it up like this, but it's really long. If you think about, if you had to lay the map out, how long it would be, and even though it's so far, and the land is so far apart, and it would take hours and hours to get to the other side of the world, like I think 11, sometimes 16 hours in an airplane. That's a long time to fly to another country. But in all of that, we're still connected. As you see the colors moving one into the other as it lays on the table. I won't pull it up any higher. But so the thing to remember, and to be what I feel grateful for, is the fact that we are all connected. We all are sharing all of that same things, and that we have authors that spend time creating books. This is a really, really pretty book. I know you can get it on Amazon. That's where I got it. And you can, and it's really fun to be able to sit and look at the pictures. We didn't get much of a chance to see close up and all the different things in the pictures, but it's a beautiful book. And on the back cover, it has the people in the different colors that relate to the colors that we just made on the spiral. So there's all the different things. I put them on there, but I don't know if they're probably fall, or they won't spread out. So we'll just look at the back of the book so you can see those pictures of all the different people, the different skin tones, and the different hairstyles, and the different clothes. Yet, they're all one. They're all the same. They're not any different. We all have the same hearts that beat the same way, and we breathe the same way, and all of that. And it's just so important to remember that, and so grateful, and think about gratitude and things like that, that you can take and know that you're not by yourself by any stretch of the imagination, because there's a lot of people we share the world with, as we share our families and friends in our own communities. So there's lots of communities like ours. So one of the things to remember about our journey through these different countries is to know that we're grateful that they're there, that they're working on doing the same things that we are, keeping our environment safe and here for everybody, and that even though we don't speak the same language across the world, we're all still the same. So we share the same world and we share the same colors. So anytime you see a different color, think about where else you might see it in the world. And you look out your window and you see flowers and you see this and animals and all of that. That if you were standing in a different world or a different country, you're seeing the same colors, but it may not be the same animals and it may not be the same flowers, but it's still the same. It's still nature. It's still out there, and it's what we get to enjoy and be very grateful that we have it. So have a great week. Pay attention to your environment. Pay attention to what those things that you see, the colors and the way in which we all look different, yet know we're all the same. So have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.